Hi guys, in this tutorial we are going to learn how to make a 4-bar linkage. We are also going to learn how to make an assembly in Creo and how to apply constraints, especially the pin mechanism such as it is applied here, as you can see. So let's start. Let's click new and select an assembly. Name it let's name it test assembly and click OK. Now we have created an assembly. Then we will create 4 parts. Click create from the models ribbon. Part, let's name this part as base. Click OK, and inch, pounds, part solid, that will be automatically and copy from existing. Select these both and click OK. This sign will appear if you are using Creo 3 or 4 or 2, or if you are using Pro, then it doesn't matter. Just go to here and this component placement, this ribbon component placement, and click default. Then click this green check bar and you have created one part base. Similarly, click again, create, and this time we will name it rocker. Click OK, OK again, automatic default, click OK, create, and let's name it slider. Click OK, OK again, and the ribbon, select default and click OK. Similarly again, let's name it middle. Click OK, OK again, automatic and default. So we have basically created 4 parts, as you can see in this assembly. We have constrained each to its default position, which is the origin of the assembly. So all the parts have the same origin, which is the origin XYZ of the assembly. Now we will create some features in these 4 parts, but before that you can see that nothing is shown for each of these parts, not even their top, bottom and right planes. So in order to show them, go to this hammer and nut and click pre-filters. Check these annotations and all these, check all of these things and click OK. Now you can see each of the part is showing its right, top and front planes. So first we will go to the base and we will click here, and this will activate the base part. And the base part, we will go to the front plane from here, and let's create an extrude feature. We will create a rectangle. Let's dimension it 100 by 200. Okay, now it's properly dimensioned. Let's make 2 circles inside of it. Let's dimension them 10 and make these both equal from the opposite sides, so their distance from each side is equal. Now let's create a dimension here from the center of this circle to the center of this circle, and let's put here 100. Click OK. Put 10 here, which will be the length of our extrude, and everything is okay. And now our base is created. Let's go to the rocker, left click to the rocker and click activate. So the rocker part is activated. Now click extrude and click on these two, this bigger face, this one or this one. Let's click this one, that is in front of us, and go to the sketch view. And now we will create our rocker. Let's go to the triangle and create a slanted rectangle. Let's click left click line and the construction mode. Here we will create a line joining the middle of these two lines, from this line's middle to this line. Then we will create two circles come out of the construction mode, and let's create two circles. Let's dimension it 8, and here also 8. Now dimension this circle from both sides, on this side and on this side. Now click equal, this equal sign. Click first this dimension and then this. Those two dimensions become equal. Click dimension again and give a dimension to the center of this circle, like this one. So here it is. Let's put this one to 40. Click OK. Let's make it 5, the extrude angle, and click OK. So the rocker is also created. Let's 1 minute. I think I forgot one thing. Let's go to the definition of the sketch and select all of this sketch. Left click, as a whole rectangle will be created around this, and select, and it will select all of these that is inside of it, and click copy. Now this will be copied. Okay, after copying it, go to the slider and click activate. The slider part will be activated. Now click extrude, and on the same face that you created the rocker, we will create the slider. After going to the sketch of the extrude, right click and click paste. Left click, and our link will be pasted here. Put it appropriately as you like, and after that click OK. Now we will give it a dimension. Let's dimension it to 80. Let's say 60. Okay. And click OK. Give it the same dimension as the rocker. a 5-inch dimension and click OK, and this will be extruded as shown. Now go to the middle, which will create the middle link. Okay, click extrude and create an extrude on this link or this link. This will act as the base. Now it is in front of us. Right click and click paste. The link will be pasted which we have copied from the rocker, and let's dimension it to 1. And put it to 100. Select it again and click rotate size and put it here. Click OK and put a dimension of 5 for this extrude. We have created the 4 linkages, but we have not constrained them to each other. So let's go to the assembly and activate it, and now we will constrain all of these links to each other. Let's begin. First we will select this rocker and we will go to its definition, edit definition. You can go right click rocker and go to this edit definition, Ctrl+C, and you will have the option to edit its definition. This component placement will appear in the ribbon. Go to the placement, right click this set and click delete. So all the constraints on this one will be deleted. After deleting the constraints, this green, blue, red arrows will appear. You can move your part using these arrows. So what we will create here, we will create a pin mechanism. So in order to create this, we will select user defined mechanisms, pin. After selecting it, go to the placement and this will appear connection 1 pin. Select component item, and this will give us the option to select one of the parts of the component that we want to constrain. So here we want to align the axis of this to this, so we will have to align the axis in this one, the axis of this one. Similarly, select assembly item and the axis of the assembly. These both are now constrained. Now it wants us to constrain the translation. Right now, as you can see, we can move it in this direction and this. So in order to constrain its movement in this direction, you will have to constrain it. So select component item and constrain this part. Select assembly item and constrain it in this part. So as you can see, now it's fully constrained and it moves like a pin mechanism, as you can see. Click OK. After you have done this, you will have this sign with your rocker part, which will indicate that your part has a moment of freedom. So let's go to this slider, right click, edit definition, delete its placement, move it away from the other rest of the assembly. Go to the components, go to the user defined and select pin. After selecting pin, click select component item and we want to constrain both axes to each other, so they are always in line and parallel to each other. So we constrain this circle and select assembly items, this one. So I think I didn't. Let's click pin here. Now translation, this, and with this one, and click OK. Now these both rocker and slider are constrained. Let's move to the middle part. Edit definition, delete, move it a little above, a little away from the assembly. The user defined, click pin. Now we will pin it. Let's constrain this axis with this one, so they are now parallel to each other. Now to constrain its translation, let's select this face and this face. Now these two are connected to each other. This coincident will appear here. If you select distance, there will be some kind of distance here, like 50, as you can see, or 0. And if you say coincident, they will be just on top of each other, united with each other. So axis alignment, translation, and click OK. Now we will have to constrain another, this and this. So go to the middle part again and click edit definition. Go to this placement bar and click new set. New set will also be the pin set. Go to the component item and select this time this component, this part, which will be have a parallel to this axis, and in order to constrain its translation, this and this. Okay, as you can see, these are constrained. We can make the lengths of these 4 linkages variable, so that we can change these lengths easily and see what the combinations give us, what kind of rotation the combinations give us. In order to do that, go to tools in the ribbon menu, in the model intent, click relations. Here input 4 relations for the lengths of the linkages: base length, rocker length, slider length, and middle length. So here we want to satisfy, let's suppose, the Grashof condition of crank rocker. So according to this condition, the shortest and the longest sum should be smaller than the other two. This is the shortest, this rocker length, and the longest is the base. So these other two should verify this condition. So the sum is 180 and there is sum is 150, so the longest and the shortest are smaller. Click OK. Now we will apply these lengths to each of the links, so that by inputting them in the relations we can easily change them automatically. Okay, so first we will input it for the base. In order to do that, go to the base part base and right click the extrude feature which contains the length. Okay, after clicking it, right click and click edit dimensions, and the dimensions, click this appropriate dimension 100 which is the length of the link, and input the name that you input in the relations. It will ask you, do you want to add this relation? Click yes, and the relation will be added. Similarly, in the rocker, right click the extrude, edit dimensions, length, yes. Similarly, in the slider, right click, edit dimension, and put the name that you put into the relations and click yes. It will be changed accordingly. Similarly, for the middle part, edit dimensions, click the dimension and then give it name it accordingly that you give it in the relations. Click yes. After doing this, regenerate your model. Things are a little less clear here, so we will apply some colors. Go to view and let's apply blue to the base. Apply red components here. After applying colors, left click drag component and click on this crank. Once left click, it will now move with your mouse movement like this. As you can see, it is making a 360-degree rotation. You can change these lengths by going into the relations here and input any lengths. They will automatically be reflected in your model. Hope you enjoyed this video and learned.